Okay, what's up? I'm here to finally do my review of Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. This was the last book I finished in December. I already filmed a separate video for my Instagram where I review books, which is at Interested in Black Books on Instagram. And I said Instagram like 3 times. And I now want to make a video for YouTube, my YouTube channel. I want to do a quicker, more focused video than I did for my Instagram. When I do my final thoughts videos on Instagram, they're pretty much rambles. I'm just rambling about what I felt about the book. But for YouTube, I want to do a more focused review on what the book is about so that people who are watching can get a sense of whether they would like the book or not. So trigger warning, this book has drug use, sexual assault, kidnapping, just a lot of things, so trigger warning beforehand. This book is about 17-year-old Enchanted Jones, and Enchanted is, a black girl attending a predominantly white high school that has a very expensive, tuition bill, so her parents have to work a lot of hours, and Enchanted is often left, not too often, but, often left taking care of her younger siblings. Enchanted loves to swim. She's on her swim team, and her family in general loves to swim. There are moments in the book where she's swimming with her grandma, her mom, her father, and I think there's a moment where she gets stung by either a stingray or a jellyfish, I can't remember. But she loves swimming in the ocean, and she loves, being on her swim team. The other thing Enchanted is really good at is singing, and this is kind of the dream Enchanted wants to pursue. So when her best friend, Gabriella, tells her about an audition, Enchanted jumps at the chance, and she actually tricks her mother into driving her to the audition by saying she has a swim meet that actually she didn't have. And then when she gets there, she's like, "Oh, Mom, I just realized the swim meet is canceled. Can you take me to the singing audition?" She actually doesn't get very far in the singing competition, but she meets Corey Fields, who is an R&B superstar in the book. He's 28. Remember, Enchanted is 17. So backstage, Corey approaches Enchanted and is like, "You picked a really good song. You're a really good singer." And kind of chatting her up. Now, there is a point in time when Corey asks Enchanted, "How old are you?" And Enchanted says 17. So at this point, a 28-year-old should really know you're not supposed to be talking to a 17-year-old unless her parents are present. That's on period, right? But because Corey's an abuser, this is all part of the plan. So he says, "Enchanted, bring your parents, come to my next show." At the next show, Corey gives her his number, and also he basically starts to get her used to the idea that maybe he can help her work on her first album or EP so that she can get her singing career off, which is what Enchanted wants to do. And Enchanted thinks, Corey's cute. I mean, he's a celebrity, he's a big deal. Any teenager is going to be enamored if someone of the likes of Justin Bieber or Harry Styles or whatever people are listening to right now talks to you. That's a big deal. So it makes sense that Enchanted is enamored. Doesn't really justify what Corey's doing, though. So they start a text message relationship that is at first really just, sharing song lyrics and song suggestions. And Enchanted is texting kind of all throughout the day, at the house, at school. And people are starting to notice, she's, in this, texting thing. And her best friend, Gabriella, even though she encouraged Enchanted to go to this audition, she's like, "Don't pursue anything with this man. He's a grown-ass man. He's 28. And there is an argument that Enchanted has with Gabriella because Gabriella is dating Jay, who is a college student. So both Gabriella and Enchanted are high schoolers. And Gabriella is dating a college student who her father disapproves of. So she's kind of in the same boat. She's dating an older person at the very least. So they're in the same boat like that. And Gabrielle's like, "It's not the same." Debatable whether it is the same. I've heard people tell me they don't think it's the same because Gabriella and Jay met when they were both teenagers. I kind of think it's the same because I'm pretty sure they met when Gabriella was 14 and Jay was either 17 or 18. And to me, that's still sus. But whatever. So, Enchanted's forceful about this. And Gabriella actually stops talking to Enchanted because of this. So Enchanted, really enamored with Corey. Corey tells Enchanted, "Let's get you on tour." And Enchanted's begging her parents, "Please, please, please." At first, her parents are like, "No, you're not gonna go to this. I don't care." But Enchanted kind of begs her mom, "I don't really have anything for myself. I'm basically watching over my younger siblings all the time. Like, I'm watching your other kids, and I'm a kid. So her mom kind of softens and basically lets Enchanted, like, go. With the idea that Jessica, who's on Corey's staff, is going to be acting as a legal guardian. So, newsflash, abusers have staff that enable them. So actually, Corey's staff knows that Corey abuses young girls. So even though Jessica's presented to Enchanted's mother like this is another woman who will be watching your child, this woman is actually enabling Corey's abuse of young girls. So Enchanted goes on this tour, and at first Corey's nice, He's nice, he's caring, buys her stuff, takes her to either Disney World or Disneyland, and, it's nice, but it gets really aggressive. She starts noticing that Corey will have temper flares, and then outright Corey gets abusive. So he'll like make her not talk to men at all, wear a jumpsuit to cover her body, won't let her talk to men, and if she does talk to men, physically or verbally abuse her, Enchanted, for doing so, and introduces her to lean, or purple drink, if it's just like a codeine drink. It's addictive, and Enchanted gets actually addicted to this, and he takes Enchanted's phone. So actually Enchanted can't reach out to her family and friends like that anymore, which is very integral in Corey's plan of basically keeping her as a concubine, by force. So her parents do a wellness check, but it's not enough. In I think Georgia, the age of consent was 17, so it's like there's only so much you can do, right? And then Enchanted actually turns 18 in the book, so necessary ambiguity to think about. Did anything change when she turned 18? How does the law actually hurt victims of abuse who are of age or of the age of consent in a certain county? So I thought this book was, fantastic. I was surprised that this was a young adult book because it had a lot of mature themes. So just know that going in. Obviously, I think young adult Black girls should read this, but it's just shocking to see the adultification of Black girls and how that means we have to be thinking about these subjects years before anyone else does. A lot of things that this book makes you think about. Well, one, the R. Kelly case. And even though Tiffany D. Jackson has said this isn't exclusively about R. Kelly, you will think about it. You will think about it because it's just a huge case. But I think it's good that it's not meant to be a retelling of the R. Kelly story because, again, hyper-focusing on R. Kelly ignores that this is a systematic thing. It's not just R. Kelly, So I actually appreciate that Tiffany has said, this is not an R. Kelly book, Obviously, you're not gonna not see it, but yeah, many other celebrities have done the same. Those who haven't even been named, One thing that really hurts is just the adultification of Black girls and how it's just normalized. This shit is just normalized. Like, it's just really sad to read this book and heartbreaking. In terms of pacing, the chapters in this book are really, really short, which I actually appreciated because I was reading books with long chapters. In terms of prose, it didn't have the most seductive prose, but it's a YA book. It's a YA book and it's talking about a serious issue, so it doesn't need to have like gorgeous, long, flowery prose. But if that's something you like, then you will find that this is not that book, and maybe you should choose a different book. But I think the cover is beautiful. The story is important. My favorite thing about this book is the part of this book where Tiffany D. Jackson has like a chat forum basically showing all the excuses people give to abusers. And I want to say, so it's basically chapter 75. For me, page 306, it starts. All these excuses. Why are you worried about Corey Fields when we could be talking about Weinstein? What about the girl's parents? Isn't she to blame? What about the girl? She's probably from a broken home. All these excuses, and when you really see it in this book, you realize how dumb all these excuses are. They're just ways to distract from the fact that Black girls are being taken advantage of, and people would do anything else but hold the abuser accountable. All in all, I liked this book. It wasn't my, top 10 of 2020, but it's a really impactful book, and I think people should read it. I will come back with another book. Thanks for watching, and see you later.